Hi, Missy. Okay, I'll wait. I saw Robert is there. So let me shift my chair over a bit so I don't knock out my camera. Oh, they're here, Missy. Everything is clickling and clackling. I don't know. I saw that he was on TikTok. Let me see. Yeah, Robert. He's on TikTok. Yeah, I shared it to him too. Okay, family. Come on through, family. I don't have like a... But can you hear me fine though? Missy? Hey, Theo, you want to come up and talk a bit? It said I should invite you to come up and talk. Hello. Just waiting for a few people to come through. All right, thank you. So I'm like literally going chapter by chapter until we finish the book. And today we're on fascicule number 3, released in 1984, third month. The book gets more mathematical as it goes on. Today we're going to have to define Bismillahi ar-Rahmanir Rahim. That's part of our course today. And then we're going to talk about the 7 angels, or the 7 lords that govern the 7 systems, including the firmament. We're going to talk about the cross, the haq or hajj, the istavros, the crucifix, today's not too bad. It's about 12 pages. All right. Hi, Ida. How are you? Hi, Her Organics. How are you? 7 is hungry. I will be honored to speak with you. Oh, okay. No worries. It's just that TikTok notified if I want to go live with you. I was like, okay. That's great, Ida. Should we get started? Give me the go ahead. You guys share the live so we can get more people in here. Because you know we're all on the mission together. You guys are the locals. You guys are already family. We need more people so that we can share the knowledge book with them. Ida, you're a solo teacher, right? No? I thought you finished your book, like writing it. Okay. Well, soon, right? Hello, Aweezy. All right, her organics. Excellent, Ida. Ooh, that's exciting. Oh my God. It's like getting your master's or PhD in the heavenly realms. That's so cool. All right, so we're gonna start. Is Kay here? Corita? I'm good. Thanks for asking. All right, we're gonna go ahead. Okay. I feel bad that people will miss out, but I will post the video on my YouTube, the live, so that if anybody that missed it can review it. But I'm gonna start because I only booked my place here for 2 hours. All right, let's go. All right, 1984, 3rd month, fascicule number 3. 69. In the world, Coffee Bean? Well, I've only been here since 87. I guess I'm the second wave. All right, so we're gonna start. Okay, our friends, notice to our friends who get their might from the supreme realm were obliged to give you knowledge on certain points in conformity with the universal theory. We have taken the mission of unifying your society where brothers and sisters are enemies of brothers and sisters. That's the road that we are at now, right? So the mission of the golden age is to unify all of us, right? Where we all accept that we're all brothers and sisters, and therefore the separation will be removed from us, right? So these suggestions, aiming at the investment of centuries, were prepared 1,000 years ago. During this period, there is the compulsion of conveying to you all the knowledge as a whole, so that humankind can make its evolvement as a necessary of evolution, right? As a necessity of evolution. We have a request from the supreme missionaries who always consider this fact. During this divine period in which the earth has come closer to the firmament, there will be certain special rules of this medium. These rules are made in order to distinguish humankind from the human. We have nothing to do with those who cannot comprehend the medium necessitated by these rules. However, we receive some saddening frequencies from our distinguished missionaries who have been able to cast their might up to the divine plane. So those that are connected, The suggestions we have given with all our open essence hearts on this path until today have confused the frequencies of certain codes instead of regulating them. Do not forget that the lowest vibration of your negative thoughts will always scatter your private codes. Now we will talk to you so openly and clearly that those who can will take lessons from this. Otherwise, the loss will be theirs. I know it's so hard. It's so hard to like me and Robert and a few others, and I'm sure all of you guys too, we're going through hey Postal, we're going through a low certain something on our own. Okay, Coffee Bean since 69, all right. You've had enough experience, you've seen a lot, especially with all your super mighty talents. But back to the book, it's so hard to not have that negative thought. It's so hard, right? Yes, but you have to master the emotion. I call it conscious thinkers. You have to be a conscious thinker. You have to be aware of your thoughts. You don't allow your thoughts to go astray. If you allow your thoughts to go astray, you don't know which ones are yours and which ones are being projected on you from elsewhere. You have to be a conscious thinker. That means every little thought, every little situation is seriously analyzed in your head, and you choose which one to push out and which one to leave in. And I always choose the one that brings me the most happiness at that moment, even though sometimes it's hard to just clear out that emotion from the heart because of whatever situation that I may be in. But you really have to just counsel yourself all the time. You have to be a conscious thinker. This divine medium is not a personal, that is an individual display. It is a universal mission, and no one is superior to anyone else. The bridge will be crossed together in collaboration. So to all the people that are, trying to be all high and mighty. Okay, sorry, I had to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. This is a collaboration. This is why we have to share the knowledge. This is why we have to wake up everybody else. This is why we have to, use our talents and our skills to facilitate the awakening, right? There is no superiority. It's a collaboration. Anything outside of our earth is divine love and unity. And when we go into the Old Testament, New Testament, even though some of the prayers have been changed, but our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, right? Sorry, somebody's trying to go. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. In order for the kingdom of the Almighty to be on this earth, in order for us to be accepted into the universal plane, we have to have a frequency that matches that plane, right? And that frequency is love for all our brothers and sisters, is unity and collaboration amongst all of us. Some of you will take a lesson from this maxim. The property of this sincerity period is that no one should criticize anyone else, even slightly. Whoever you talk against will rise to supremacy by the effect of your negativeness. We can state it in the following way too. Your loss will always be his or her gain. Oh my days. Oh my days. Thinking and talking negative about someone puts them higher than you, the individual. That's crazy. And I know it's hard, because how can you not think evil for like Bill Gates, right? But at the same time, if you understand that everything is a divine ordinance and everything plays out in the grand schema of things, in the universal system as it's supposed to play out, then even the negative situations, you always understand that it is part of the evolutionary process. Every event is meant to analyze us. So if you understand that everything is from the Almighty, the Absolute, and nothing is outside of the Almighty, the Absolute, there's no plan that is outside of the plans of the Almighty, the Absolute, then who are you to complain? Who are you to cast a stone? Who are you to point fingers? Right? You just have to counsel yourself to remove the negative thoughts from your mind and heal yourself, and even send love and healing to anybody else that's affected. And I know it's not that easy. The resurrection is not easy. Evolution is not easy. This quote was specially prepared in the system. In this system, special archives are stored by being determined and controlled. Every breath you take is recorded by computers. The goal is to be able to select the genuine humans one by one. We will continue to hold the hands of our friends who lack tolerance and whom we desire to enter our medium for 2 more years for them to conform to the conditions. This period is their final examinations. Selection is not easy as you think, specifically for our friends who have received the command to enter the divine code. So those that are even chosen have like the hardest battle, right? Because then you're really being evaluated. The duration of 2 years recognized for you is for the sake of your high frequency. We are in contact with our trustworthy friends every moment. They are the light of sunny days. We will unify you with them. Those who are taken under the medium of assurance will profit from this. Do not forget that during this last period, God will not hold your hands. You will hold your own hands yourselves. God bestows hands only on those who deserve it. It is beneficial to keep this in mind. We had told you that from now on we will give you clearer and more direct commands. Time is limited. There is urgency. We will only say this much. You are compelled to perform in 1 year the evolvement you would normally perform in 1,000 years, so that you can be accepted to the medium of salvation. If we are compelled to perform evolution of 1,000 years in 1 year, that is urgent. That means we really have no time to waste. And it's really frustrating too that we're still obviously flesh and blood, and we still have work, and we still have bills, and we still have all this matrix system that is, still having a hold on us. And the only way we can control that is really just to control our thoughts and how we feel about certain things. If we're able to make every moment happy, every event happy, if we're able to work on that, because it's all up here, it's not all out there, it's all up here and in here, right? So if you're able to center yourself always and ground yourself always, controlling your thoughts and your emotions, it will be beneficial. Because I know for sure I don't like to work, and I have anxiety every time I think about working, and there are solutions to that, but just guarding your heart and guarding your emotions all the time and being conscious thinkers, right? But that is hard. 1,000 years in 1 year is massive. Those who can get the permission for transition through the gates that will be open are those who are able to see the good results at this moment. Allah always assists his servants. Do not forget this. But he has left you to yourselves because it is the property of this period. Do not forget that humankind will select its own options by itself. Remember Ida, I was telling you? Humankind will select its own options by itself. There is no compulsion to do anything. Everybody has to hold your own hands. You are in charge of your own evolution. It is our heartfelt wish that all our friends would receive their lot from the divine plane. People keep asking to go. If I'm not. Pen of the Golden Age, PGA Alpha. Our friends, now let us talk to you about certain factors distinguishing humans from humans. Our human brothers and sisters rebel against certain life injustices in the social community, right? This is what distinguishes human from human. There are those that are asleep, and there are those that are awake. There are those that spoke out against CV-19, right? And there are those that were against those that were speaking out against that, right? So our human brothers and sisters rebel against certain life injustices in the social community. This is one of the distinguished characteristics from what is human versus what is human, right? If today someone has gained his or her millions unjustly, the choice is left to you. You either tread the illegitimate path she or he has chosen, or you live in the medium of humility. This is talking about greed. And we know who the greedy people are in our society. And we know how they're trying to entice us to get into that medium. And we know that with the so-called celebrities and athletes is a sacrificing of your soul and your loved ones, right? We know now what they did to get there. We know now. So the younger generations looking up to these so-called celebrities, wishing to be like them, you have to be humble on your own path. You can't be greedy. Try your best, try your own ways on how to make money that is just, that does not harm somebody else, that does not bring destruction to somebody else, right? But being greedy, and they really do work to entice us. So many people have gone into that industry and have regretted and have lost loved ones because they had no choice but to bring the loved ones because the amount of things that they had them initiated in, right? So if today someone has gained his or her millions unjustly, the choice is left to you. You either tread the illegitimate path she or he has chosen, or you live in the medium of humility, humbleness, right? This is an issue indicating whether your conscious skills are out of balance or not. You gain in the world, and because you do not see or know your loss that comes with this, you live in your world comfortably, right? But I feel like, I don't know if people don't know what they lose when they go on that path. I feel like they do know. They're making their own choice and they'll cry about it later. But again, the disagreeable beings have promised them eternal life and have eliminated the God consciousness, the Almighty, the absolute consciousness from them. So they think this is it. They'll find out in the end. For since the equilibrium of your conscious skills is out of balance, it does not give you any signals anymore. It leaves you alone with yourself. This is not a threat. Do not forget that the richer you become through the illegitimate path in the world, the poorer you become in the essence heart. And they're not saying that don't be rich. This is not that lie that says what? I forgot what the lie is in the Christian thing that says it sounded something like it's okay to be poor here because you're rich in heaven or something like that. No, you're allowed to be rich, just a legitimate way. You're allowed to live comfortably and flourish and travel and have all that stuff that you want, but without harming somebody else or yourself, right? The equilibrium here is adjusted according to the essence heart. This issue is as simple as that. The choice is as simple as that. If you gain yourself, the system here will make you gain both materially and morally. Every time you back out of a loss, it will be a profit for you. This book is not a book that addresses the social community, but it addresses you. You will see and find yourself under its light with our infinite love. This knowledge book speaks to everybody at a different level. Like, you will find, as you read it, you start dictating yourself, wait, what is my shortcomings? What is my upcomings? And you start analyzing yourself, and you start understanding what you need to change and what you need to even amp up more, right? Everybody's left to themselves in this day and time. Pen of the Golden Age, PGA Alpha. Okay, our friends. You know that a friend tells the bitter truth. For this reason, we have to awaken some of our friends who have not been awakened yet with some bitter truths. We apologize in advance. We will talk about certain special responsibilities brought to you by this message you read. This is a declaration of the special space code. There is a must to unify moral powers with moral powers. For our time is scarce, our efforts are numerous. During this period, it is imperative to run, let alone sit in. That means advancing yourself and waking up your brothers and sisters. Like, the more brothers and sisters that you wake up, it actually reflects so much better on you. And they'll be grateful to you when we all get up there. For every slow step you take will cause you to lose one of your terrestrial brothers and sisters. Our brothers and sisters who are prepared for the salvation medium will always cooperate with you. By this means, the number of our good-willed friends will grow like an avalanche. Do not deal with undiscerning humans. You will perform your mission in proportion to the number of brothers and sisters you save during the time you would spend on them. Those who attain this consciousness know the truth aspect of the issue. It is a must to convey this to those of you who do not know. During this period, you are compelled to act according to divine commands. Listen to your inner self. The book says we have to wake up everyone. Please, all of us. Everybody has your own channel. A lot of people are getting downloads. Whether it's futuristics or whether it's just a divine message of how to feel for that day, you need to share that. You need to share that. Don't hold back on it. If you can go live reading this book, posting this book, commenting, talking to your neighbors about this book so that they can attain. And I can also say this, that people are waking up without even having heard of this book, because again, the cosmic rays that are showering down on us are massive, right? As we have said before, a right of examination of 2 years has been granted by the medium of tolerance to our friends who have reached us, but have not been able to grasp the seriousness of the matter yet. This test will be their actual examination. Do not forget that after you know the actual nature of something, you cannot sit comfortably in an armchair, for this action of yours will be an ego, but egos does not exist in this medium, right? You understand that, right? You cannot be, if you know that we're in the final stage and people may not make it, and if they incarnate back on this earth, it may be a worse earth than ever, you know, wouldn't you just want to help as much as you can? I mean, you're not going to save the whole world, but you have to feel that urgency, because that urgency to help someone gain this knowledge is that actual genuine divine love, right? You can't reach out to someone if you don't have that divine love in you to want to help humanity. A person who has been awakened should awaken at least 5 people. This is his or her minimum mission, and the maximum missions are interminable. Nothing can be gained by sitting, by prostrating, by going to the mosque or to the church. This is the actual property of this period. Collaboration is a must, right? Now we will talk to you clearly again. This period of 2 years is for our friends who will be accepted by the land of loving ones. Comforts and repasts of the road are sweet, but the end of the road is bitter. Ugh. Always think about this statement and always take your step in the direction of this statement. During this period, and we know the end of the road is bitter. Look at what's happening, and we know it's going to get worse before it gets any better, right? During this period, there are special missions to be given to you. However, do not forget that God loads on everyone as much mission as they can handle. For allotment of missions is evaluated according to your frequency. So don't feel bad if you see someone else doing something else in their mission path that you're not able to do. Yours is different. Do yours and be happy in yours. Don't feel like you need to be part of someone else's. Just be happy in what you can do. Even if it's just one thing. Even if it's just posting a flower and saying, have a great day. That act of innocent, loving energy inspires somebody, right? Everybody's mission is different. Don't feel compelled or don't feel underrated. Be happy with what it is that you're able to do, even if it's just your mom that you're able to talk to, even if it's just your sister, right? Because you don't know. Maybe your job is just to wake up that sister, and that sister will wake up 1 million. We don't know the universal plan, but we are all interconnected, right? Now we will talk to you clearly again. This period of 2 years is for our friends who will be accepted in the land of loving ones, right? During this period, there are special missions to be given to you. However, do not forget that the God loads on everyone as much mission as they can handle. For allotment of missions is evaluated according to your frequency. When the time comes, each one will choose his or her mission in proportion to its good results. You have to see that, okay, this thing that I'm doing is helping. You choose that mission because you see the results of it, right? Do not forget that there is reciprocation for every endeavor. Later special talks will be made with you. May all happiness and success be yours. Okay, so Pen of the Golden Age. Our friends, everything you see in the road extends towards the infinite. For example, colors, sounds, letters, Every color has over billions of nuances. Every sound has over billions of frequencies. Every letter has over billions of meanings. The actual goal here is to make the expounding and the interpretation in the most correct manner by attaining the subject matter of the meaning. The actual goal of this book is to explain everything to you with utmost clarity. For this reason, we will often make comparison and give examples. For example, the letter A gains meaning according to the sentence it enters and gives the sentence its actual meaning. Now, setting out on this path, let us give you the codes of certain words. Both in the Islamic and the Christian realms, these words are universal words that give messages peculiar to themselves in all religious books, and which carry the sacredness of those books, and they have become the property of society. Now let us make the sacred explanation of the Basmala in the Quran in the following way. So, Bismillahi Rahmanu Rahim. Each human is a servant of our Supreme Lord. His all compassionate wings have protected him or her since the day he had brought him or her into existence. Bro, this is the book has so much contradictions, and it's up to you to discern and choose your path. We have had divine protection since our existence, since we were created, since we came into existence, not in this flesh. Our essence, not just in this flesh, but our actual essence, being created from the Almighty, the Absolute, has always had divine protection. Even though this book also says that you have to join a certain program and you receive protection, this also says that we've had protection since we woke up, since we came into existence. Now, in the Society of Islam, everyone says this 24-letter great word before he goes out and before starting anything. Do you know why? Maybe even the genuine devotees are not conscious of this. Every word dictated from the channel of the Lord has a secret cipher, a meaning. 24 letters represent the 24 supreme ones in the Supreme Assembly. If we add 2 and 4, it makes 6. And this represents the 6 who are the actual staff members of the 1 who administers the divine plane. All the supreme ones in the Supreme Assembly perform their missions incumbent upon themselves 6 by 6 at the 4 corners of the world. Now let us open the meaning of this great word. So we have Supreme One 666, which is like 24, all around the 4 corners of the world performing their missions, right? All right, so we are deciphering Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. B, here the word B means bull, find. It means find. I, Isan, human. S, Sevgi, love. M, Mevla, God. I, Isan, human. L, Lutuf, grace. L, again, Lutuf, Liyakat, grace and merit. A, Allah. H, Hulus, Iyiniyet, sincerity and goodwill. I, Isan, human again. R, Rab, Lord. R, Rahim, compassionate. A, Allah. H, Hulus, Hurriyat, sincerity, freedom. M, Mujdi, good news. A, Allah. N, Nur, divine light. U, or you. Umutslik, Uzuntu, hopelessness, sadness. R, Rab, Lord. R, Rahim, compassionate. A, Arabul, search, find. H, Hurriyat, freedom. I, Isan, human. M, Mantik, logic. Now let us give the message of this great word. Search. Find the genuine human within yourself. Love everything, whether good or bad or beautiful. This is what we talked about earlier, right? Find the beauty in every situation. I was reading, I think last week, and even though the book talks about infinite love, infinite tolerance, infinite humility, I was just asking, I was like, yeah, I understand that. Is there a simpler way that we can address this issue? And I got the words, love, learn, light. So approach every situation with love. What is the most loving way that I can address this situation, that I can solve this situation, right? That that thought alone eliminates all the anger that you may have, that the situation may have caused you, or the sadness or the attack or victimization that you may have towards the other person that the situation may have cost you, right? So how can I approach this situation with love, infinite love, right? What is the most loving way to solve this situation? And then the second L was learn. Every situation we know, we're supposed to pick up something from it. The situation is not the problem. It's not a problem. It's an event. It's an examination. So what are you supposed to pick up from it? Learn that. Learn what it is that you're supposed to pick up from it. And then once you apply that lesson to you, then you have light, right? So it was love, learn, light. Those were the three that I got during my reading last week. Okay, so we are deciphering the Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So 1, search, find the genuine human within yourself. Love everything, whether good or bad or beautiful. 2, God, that is all. Always grace the genuine human. 3, Allah graces the sincere ones according to their merit. That's your good deeds, right? Your grading, your ranking. 4, the Lord of the human is compassionate. 5, Allah gives the good news of freedom to the sincere ones. 6, and freedom is, we can attain freedom here by really just being God conscious, but freedom is also when we get out of this. Allah shows his divine light to his sad humans. Your Lord is compassionate. Search and find him. Ultimately, the most secure path that will lead the human to freedom is his or her logic. Logic. You have to discern in every situation, no matter what information you receive. The information says this is the most correct book. However, due to your reincarnation, your lessons that you've picked up before, and what else you still have to learn, you have to discern in this book which ones apply to you, right? So it says, think what you used to be and what you have become. Search and find its reason. The day you understand that flowers bloom with love, it will mean that you have found your Lord. Only then are you a genuine human. It goes back to love again, right? Our friends, indivisible wholes are only the spirits. The Almighty, the Absolute, is the Supreme One and the protector of the entire universe. This gate has always remained closed for humankind. This gate has been open to those who have attained consciousness of this. From now on, we are obliged to dictate to you the function of the entire system by the command of the merciful Lord. Every gate is closed unless you knock on it, right? Every gate is closed. Every realm is closed unless you knock on it. The only way you're knocking on it is when you are raising your frequency to that level. And once your frequency reaches that level, it kind of just nudges it like, hi. And then they have to open and check you out. And then they let you in and then they take you under their wings. Okay. Every mechanism has a governor. You call this God. We call them the lords of mechanism. So everything that happens, every mechanism, every operation on our earth and in the entire universe is a mechanism that has a governor. Everything is overseered. Nothing is left loose. Nothing happens by chance. No meteor simultaneously just decide to come crash into our planet. It doesn't work like that. And this book even talks about how meteors carry pores of energies that they plant and release on the planets that they pass. Nothing is by chance. That's why we were talking about earlier that no bad event, all these things that are happening is within the grand plan or the grand schema of the universal plan. So if you understand that, then you shouldn't have fear in your heart. Now we will talk to you about them one by one. First, let us code the great name for you. Okay. Rab. R. Rahim, compassionate. A. Allah. B. Bagislayik, merciful. Rab, Lord, and Allah are the same. He is single. He is the Almighty, the Absolute. O to the power of one. 1. According to the code, the compassionate Allah is merciful. Rab, within this word, is the Almighty, the Absolute. That is, He is O to the power of 1 and the single Allah. Not to be misunderstood, we repeat, He is the most supreme of all of us. We do not recognize any supreme one other than Him. This gate opens to those who know. To those who do not know, it would always remain closed. You choose to know what you want to know. if you open yourself up to learning. Some people, when you're telling them this is the day and time that we're in, they'll tell you no, it's not true, because in the Bible it says that this and this and that will happen, or in my religious belief it says that this and this and that will happen, and I don't see that. Some people are still expecting Gog and Magog in like a different form, where I always explain that it's already happening. Our waters are drying up, our foods are poisoned, people are dying, child trafficking, people's organs are being harvested and eaten, our plants are going off. Anyway, let me see if I can get a question. Okay. Not to be misunderstood, we repeat, he is the most supreme of all of us. We do not recognize any supreme one other than him. This gate opens to those who know. To those who do not know, it will always remain closed. Gods perform their missions, and these are not the absolutes, but the governors of different mechanisms. Gods perform their missions on the 7 systems established in the universe. Allotment of missions is a prismatic tableau. We say that the secret of the pyramid is the secret of the universe, since it resembles this. Now, the secret of the pyramid, the top part is O to the power of 1. And then either, like if I'm a human and I attain my higher consciousness, my essence self, so it will be me, my higher self, or the absolute, that's my triangle, right? Earth knowledge, cosmic knowledge, God consciousness, my pyramid. And then if you look at how information is relayed to us, the right side up pyramid and the upside down pyramid, where our frequencies are projected upwards, and then we receive also cosmic energy. Okay, O to the power of 1 is single, and the Almighty, the Absolute. Mission allotments is from the earth to the firmament, that is from the ground upwards, as it is as follows: A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7. Okay, this is that is, they are our lords. They are the gods of your governing system. For example, the mission allotment is as follows. A1, I don't know if it's angel number 1, but A1 is responsible for your world. A2 is responsible for your heavens. A3 for the galaxy. A4 for the firmament. This part always makes me think, so is the firmament housing galaxies? I don't know. Because I would think like, oh, right outside, like after you get out of Earth, then we have a firmament. But the fact that it says A3 for the galaxies, and we're working from the ground up, right? So A1 is responsible for your world, A2 for your heavens, A3 for the galaxies, then A4 for the firmament. That means that there are galaxies before we even reach the firmament. A5 for the systems, A6 for the place we call the plane of perfection. That is the final humanity plane. A7, the light, is responsible for the entire universe and is a single emissary of the Lord. Each God is the only responsible one for his medium. The Almighty, the Absolute, is sovereign over everything. Gods are very great responsible missionaries who only transmit and supervise the commands coming from the Supreme Ones. They are the ones who mirror you up to the Lord. They're like, you connect your channel with them. They send divine guidance received from the Creator to us, and then they also evaluate us. Every mechanism in the universe is governed in this manner. Their entire nature, the entire universe, that is everything living or non-living, is under this prismatic supervision. The one you call the Lord of the skies and the ground is the Almighty, the Absolute. Everything is under the supervision of the system. Among them, there are also special supervision missionaries. Here we are obliged to give you only this knowledge. We mentioned also the name of the Almighty, the Absolute, constituted of the 147 words. Besides the 999 names of God dictated in the religious books before, every letter of this absolute word symbolizes the names and missions of the apostles or the imams, who are the special missionaries of the system. So every name, every letter within the name of God has a symbology to the apostles or the imams, right? That's because everybody's a fractal of the Most High. I'm sure if we knew our spiritual name, it would be something of the Most High as well. It would be a code that needs to be deciphered. They are the founders of the Supreme Assembly that perform missions. 12 in the east and 12 in the west. A7, that is the light, is obliged to project their commands to the entire system. As a necessity of the system, A7 has been obliged to give the commands to A6, A5, A4, A3, A2, A1 in sequence until today. So that's how we used to receive messages from the divine plane. It had to go through all these different missionaries, because everything can be embodied as well as being a system. Now, the property of this period is that by eliminating all the intermediary lords in the system, A7 gives these commands directly to A6. Okay, so A6, so A7 is the light is responsible for the entire universe and is a single emissary of the Lord. That's A7. So now A7 gives the command directly to A6, and A6 says, for the place we call the plane of perfection, that is the final humanity plane. Okay, and the book is bestowed on your world from this channel, that is, from the channel Alpha. Religions are a mirror image of the books dictated until today by the emissaries of the divine realm. So all religions came from the Alpha channel, from the divine realm, by the emissaries, we call them prophets, to enlighten our human brothers and sisters in the direction of society. However, all these books were dictated by passing them through all the supervisionary channels we have mentioned above. So all our religious books came through the 7 channels that we mentioned up, right? Our human brothers and sisters have completed their evolvement on this path according to their individual understandings. However, we have received the command that all humans should be assembled in the second evolvement plane that we call the plane of perfection. So now they're calling us to A6, the plane of perfection. A6, after that, is A7, and that is the light is responsible for the entire universe. So we're being called to A6 for the place we call the plane of perfection, that is the final humanity plane. This is the reason why this book is being dictated. Pen of the Golden Age. Our friends, now let us explain the meaning of the triplets. Istavros, which means crucifix, put, cruciform, and hack, cross to you. The reason why I like this book, like everything you've ever heard of is in here. So you don't feel left out. You don't feel like, oh, you know, because I'm a Christian or because I'm a Muslim or because I believe in Buddha, you know, I can't accept this book, or was I on the wrong path, or that's the only right path, or that's the only right path. Okay, so, all right, in fact, the 3 are the same, but their explanation symbolizes the awakening of our Christian friends. 1, P, Pir-Ler, spiritual masters. U, Ler, preeminent ones. And T, Tan-Ri, God. This is the actual triangle code. But humankind at the time found the cruciform in its subconscious and began to worship it. The form of the cruciform is a symbol that unifies the ground with the sky and its positive energy. If you have the cross, you have the upside down triangle projecting upwards, and then on top, you have the divine triangle projecting information from the universe downwards. That, and then in the middle is a unity, right? And then the man who is hung on there, not crucified, but stretched out on there to attain all that frequency, to also project itself up there and to also receive downloads, right? So that is the cross that you're talking about. Prophet Moses was sent to the human of that era to enlighten his human brothers and sisters by the command he had received. But humankind was so conditioned that it could not comprehend what genuine enlightenment was. Those who comprehended the book of Prophet Moses and those who came from his lineage were saved. That means there are some people that are already gone, right? Up there. Then God tried to enlighten humans through miracles, and Jesus Christ was sent to the world to show his miracles. He was called the Son of Allah, for he was the son of a Virgin Mary. But not because he was the son of Allah, but because he was from a Virgin Mary. Virgin Mary was sent to Terra, so this is Jesus' mother, was sent to Terra by the command of the Supreme Ones. Remember, before we come, the ones that will bring us here has already been planted here. Right? So Virgin Mary was sent to Terra by the command of the Supreme Ones. She gave birth without getting married. People of that time expounded this in various ways, and some accepted it as it was. Now, in the space age, we can easily explain it. Jesus Christ was a miracle baby. That is, he was a test tube baby, as you call it, artificial insemination. Jesus Christ showed his miracles with the advice he got from Gabriel, and this shouldn't be far-fetched because even us humans have attained this knowledge. And then there's Isis and Osiris, and Osiris had been murdered by Satuk, and this was an ancient civilization. And then artificial insemination took place where Isis had the semen of Osiris, her husband and brother, took the semen and did an artificial insemination and gave birth to Horus or Haru, which was also like a Christ-like being in that time. This was before Jesus had come. But knowledge has been removed from us that everything is so like spooky and mysticism and all that stuff. But everything is science. Everything is mathematics. Everything can be calculated. Okay. All right. So Jesus Christ showed his miracles with the advice he got from Gabriel. He assembled people around himself. He had received the command not to write a book, but only to talk. This is the reason why today there are 13 New Testaments that conform mostly to the original, which is the Old Testament. Because he was just here to repeat, because he said, I did not come to change the words of the old, I only came to fulfill them. Right? So anything that has changed in the New Testament is not supposed to be there. Everything is supposed to be as from the Old Testament. So he was only supposed to talk about the original, just to reenact it or bring it back alive in the people of that time. Upon the command given, Jesus Christ would talk, and the 13 apostles would write. Those who wrote was for the selecting of the genuine apostles. The Christian realm, after seeing the miraculous end of Jesus Christ, embraced their New Testament more with fear rather than with love. That's the problem with humanity. Humanity always attained God consciousness through fear, and everybody was afraid of their God. You're not supposed to be afraid of your God. You're supposed to love your God. You're supposed to love. It's love, not fear. You ain't getting out of here if you fear your Lord. The heck are you going out there for if you fear him? You can't get out of here with fear. All right, so Jesus Christ was born miraculously, passed away miraculously. This event that is very simple for this period was a miracle for that period. That is, he was born as a test tube baby and passed away by being beamed up. He never died, he was beamed up, right? Those who have read these sacred books have taken their allotted shares, but they have only saved their own selves on this path. The beaming of Jesus Christ was the first demonstration performed for the realm of humanity. Humankind who walked on this path has begun to build churches continuously. The miracle made them believe that is, humanity lived its semi-golden age. Meanwhile, scientists, inventors whose consciousness codes were opened, received the command to exalt the world human through learning. For us, the genuine sages are these. Edison, said read his life, reunited humanity with the divine light. He is the supreme one who found himself in the path of God through logic. If you guys want to research on Edison. Here, Zeppelin, steam engine, telephone, telegraph, motion pictures, radio, television, tape recorders, and computers are small gifts the space age has to offer you. As we're getting more, this is why we're getting more and more technologically advanced for our time, even though in the past, beings were coming in and out of here and building, so much. Like even our Earth is a biomechanical ship, right? So like science should not be so far-fetched from us. We should not disassociate science from the universe. Everything is science. We have metal in us. We are also a biomechanical body, right? We have crystals in us. Now you have come to us by our satellites in the universe. That is, you have risen up to your God. And we say, hello, welcome to our genuine human brothers and sisters who have been able to rise up to us. Let us come to the expounding of the word haq, which is cross. 1. H. Hulus. Iyiniyet, sincerity and goodwill. 2. A. Aramak, to search. 3. C. Serak, Omak, Yani, Gunuldin, Yanmak, to become light, that is to become emblazed in the essence heart. That is what the cross stands for, right? So be sincere, search for your God, attain light. This triangle code symbolizes the evolvement of the human. The message of the Haq cross is as follows. Those who embark on the quest with sincerity and goodwill have become emblazed. That is, they have emblazed in the essence heart, like Unisys, Mevlana, and all the saints. Then they have become a light and have illuminated the human in all aspects. All philosophers and all scientists are genuine enlightening guides who have found the most correct path on the path of Allah. Einstein was one of them. Edison laid the foundation. Einstein cut the ribbon. Okay, so now we're going to explain Istavros, which is the crucifix. The great word is a word that has transcended Islam, that is still at the medium of quest. Within this word, there is O to the power of 1, that is Almighty, the Absolute, and time. Now let us code the word Istavros. So that's the crucifix. Okay. I, Isan, human. 1. S, Sevgi, love. T, Tanri, God. A, Aramak, to search. 2. V, Vayi, Ilham, mantic, revelation, inspiration, logic. R, Rab, Lord. O to the power of 1, Kadir, Mutlak, Almighty. Okay. And 3, Z, Zaman, time. Okay. The message of this word is as follows. The human is elevated to his or her God through love. 2. He dives into the medium of quest by revelation, inspiration, and logic, and from there, he attains his or her Lord. 3. The final message, attain the consciousness of the Almighty, the Absolute, and time. Transcend and comprehend the cause of your existence. This is immortality. Just as the Islamic realm knows the meaning of the word Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim in a stereotypical way, most of our Christian friends do not know the genuine meaning of the word Istavros, crucifix, either. So again, the human is elevated to his or her God through love, right? Not through fear. 2, he dives into the medium of quest by revelation, inspiration, logic. So you have to be searching for something. You have to want to know more. You have to ask that question, right? Think. 3, the final message, attain the consciousness of the Almighty, the Absolute, and time. So you have to attain the God consciousness. And then you transcend yourself and comprehend the cause of your existence. Why do you exist? You exist because of love. The Creator just loved you and created you out of love. Everything was created out of love. Just as the Islamic, and then there's the mission after that. Okay. Where am I at? Okay. Because they are connected to it, considering it as a shape, and give value to the shape as a symbol. As we have said before, the shape symbolizes the unification of the firmament and the earth. We're talking about the crucifix. We say the meaning of the word Istavros, crucifix, has transcended Islam, that is in quest. Do you know why? Because the word gives you the time. It gives you our Lord. It gives you to yourself and reminds you of the cause of your existence. But the Islam is still prostrated in hope of personal benefit from his or her God. Genuine Muslims excluded. In fact, the Christian society, those other than our genuine Christian friends, go to church with the same goal. At the moment, we are calling to all the sacred societies in the world. Your God is not an ogre. Do not be afraid of him. The more you love your world and your brothers and sisters without expecting any personal benefit, the more the divine power of God will pour his love and his divine light on you. Light of the divine and love are the essence of God. Now let us give the essence of what we have written. The human finds his or her God through love. He rises up to the O by searching through logic. The one who follows the path of religion arrives at learning. The one who follows the path of learning arrives at religion. All the paths leads to the same gate. Are you still going to discriminate between religions, our brothers and sisters, even though you know all this? With our love, pen of the golden age. This is like the snake that eats its own head. Right? Everything is interconnected. Quantum. It is the answer to chains of thoughts. Our friends, now we want to give the answers to the thoughts we have received from you. You have always behaved in the direction of the prophet to whom you have been attached until today. They were each a light friend of ours. Our Christian friends did not accept the Quran, which was a single book revealed after the New Testament, for they had their own book, and our Islamic friends do not accept the book, any book other than their Quran, for at the era they were told this is the final and the single book. They are right in their views because they have been conditioned in the direction of this view. But they should never forget that the Quran assembles in itself all the events until the year 1999. And it was dictated to our life friend Muhammad Mustafa, who was the final prophet. That means that the Quran has everything that the Bible also, or the New Testament, Old Testament, and the Psalms of David also has in it. And all the events up to the year 1999. This is why we're in the resurrection period. Now we would like to remind you of this. The final book, the Quran, has mirrored the events up until this period to you. Our life friend Muhammad Mustafa is the final prophet. We had said that after the Quran, no book would be dictated through prophets. We had not said that no book from then on would ever be dictated. We are repeating it to correct this misunderstanding. And that's where a lot of our Islamic families are stuck on that. And a lot of them are not going to be moved at all. Do not forget that the end of your world will not come to an end with this final book, for your world will enter an entirely different period after the year 1999. This is the golden age. The human of that period will not be able to comprehend this. We were obliged to obey the commands of the Lord as a necessity of the system. Everything is released to us in doses, right? If this book came in a certain time, where it's talking about beaming and spaceship and stationed on Mercury and the moon and the satellites, it wouldn't make sense. It had to come at a certain time, right? Do not forget that evolvement does not occur instantly. Now, in this period, we establish direct contact with our friends who have been able to complete their evolvement until today, up to the quote of the genuine human, that is, A6 plane. And thanks to this book, we are selecting them one by one. You say that the world year 1999 is the final resurrection period. Those who have attained this genuine consciousness excluded. We wonder how many people know what resurrection is. Now we are in preparation for that period. We, your space friends, have come to you, have established contact with you, and we have received a command to notify you of the entire truth through mediation of this book. Do not forget that the resurrection in your final book is the resurrection of humans in the direction of consciousness. Everybody's expecting, like, I don't know, the sky will rip open and fire and blasting, and people will be scared, and God will come in his majestic throne, and or Jesus or Prophet Muhammad, and there'll be fire everywhere, and all the dead and the zombies will all wake up, and then they'll look new again, and then we'll all line up, and everybody will go, and then they'll get, like, you know, their judgment passed on them, and people will fall into hell with blazing fire, and some people will go to heaven all peaceful. It's not like that. Okay? Okay, do not forget that the resurrected in your final book is the resurrection of humans in the direction of God consciousness. This means that humans will attain the consciousness of everything and they will be awakened from their sleep. A lot of people are zombies now. This is what is waking up your sleeping mind, your spirit. That's what the resurrecting is, attaining God consciousness. We know that. Each awakened person has gotten and will get in connection with us. This means that now we are attracting your views out of your world of vision to which you have been habituated and conditioned to until today. They're giving us so much more perception. Like 10 years ago, nobody was talking about 5D, the 5-dimension, the plane this and this plane and this realm. And nobody was going crazy on astral travel. And now it's, if you're not talking like that, you're not cool. That's because of the cosmic influences, our brain codes are waking up to that knowledge that already existed in us. It's not new knowledge. It's just the veil is being ripped open. For this reason, we are giving general messages to all the religious societies. If you cannot free yourselves from your conditioning in the direction of Christian, Islam, and other religions, you can never attain our apex. And resurrection for you is this: those who have come and will come to us will see the genuine divine light. This will be our gift to our brothers and sisters who are genuine humans in a real sense. Be free of these conditionings. We have told you one by one how all the religious books were dictated. The supervision of our Lord is always upon you. Do not ever forget this. This book is always upon you, Ida. The supervision of the Most High is always upon all of us. We're all being examined by every breath we take, whether we have the book or not. The book is just to shed light and even give you more insight on the day and time that we're in. But a lot of us already attained that knowledge, and we're expecting the kingdom of God to come down. We're expecting our minds to meet up in the realm, Okay, so the supervision of our Lord is always upon you. Do not ever forget this. This book is and will be dictated by his command to save our human brothers and sisters and to assist them. First, eliminate the religious conditioning among you so that we can give you other universal knowledge. There are millions of our light friends among you who have liberated themselves through their narrow views. This universal book of yours is distributed through them to the universe, fascicule by fascicule. You will overcome extremely hard future circumstances easily by means of this book, because we will hold each hand that writes the book by hand. The choice is left to the common sense of our human brothers and sisters. The endeavor is from you. The divine guidance is from Allah, our friends, pen of the golden age. Like to go through future hard circumstances easily is to be in that, there's a passage, millions shall fall on my side and thousands, blah, 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 but none of the evil will come near my dwelling. I think it's in the Psalms of David. It's I think it's the Lord is my shepherd. Yeah, I think it's that. Anyway, but when you've attained this consciousness and your heart is lit up and you don't have any fear in your heart and you accept things as is, that everything is happening because it's supposed to happen, and you're not afraid of death because, heck, I'm ready to shed my appetite, just that we don't commit suicide. We just wait for the time that we've clocked by ourselves before we came here. We're just waiting for that time to clock, and then whatever the event is that is supposed to yank us out of our avatar will happen. Could be anything. Could be sleeping. Could be drinking coffee. I don't know. It could be anything. But to not have that fear of death alone makes you go through all these. You're not afraid to starve because, one, you've mastered your essence, you've mastered your spirit. You're more spirit than you are body. So certain things that affect the body doesn't really affect you. Your perceptions have changed. So you're able to just cruise through all situations, right? So that's part of how we're going to be able to go through this hardship. And there's a lot of us going through hardship, and yet we still find so much light to come on here and preach the knowledge, because we understand that, one, it's trial. Ha ha ha, I'm going to pass. I'm not going to let it affect me, right? And two, we're in the divine love of the Almighty, the Absolute. And three, we've accepted our mission, and we're patient and we're humble. We've removed the ego, so we don't think, why is this happening to me? Who the heck are you to think, why is this happening to you? That's the ego. To understand that, you're humble and you're not superior and you're not prideful and egotistic. If an event happens, you say, oh, hi event. Okay, what am I supposed to learn from you? Thank you for this trial. I'm going to pass it and approach it with love. I know it sounds kumbaya. It sounds like, like a Hopi prophecy or like a Buddhism thing. But that is it. It's really just having peace within your heart. Always. Okay? So our friends, we're almost done. I think I have 3 or so more pages. Our friends, the rising of frequencies never exalts the human and humanity. What is significant is evolvement. And the single guide of evolvement is enlightenment books and enlightenment channels. You call these books the religious books, but in fact you do not know the actual nature of your books you have taken in your hands. You have received your offerings from a certain plane until today. At the moment, your medium has been opened up to higher levels. But we are compelled to convey this to you. Rising to supremacy is not being a mediumist. Everyone who feels the power of the heavens is a mediumist. For this universal power has augmented your 6 senses, right? So there's no like somebody's better than you. We are all receiving that cosmic rays. And if you're able to attain the rays and feel them, and your perceptions are being augmented, and you see things differently, and you accept things differently, and you understand things differently, and things don't shake you, and you don't fall into depression, and you don't fall into anxiety, and you're able to just really understand and accept everything that is happening, and then just be really centered and grounded and have peace and harmony in your heart, regardless of everything that is going on, right? You're a mediumist. It's not about a particular person, right? It's about attaining your 6 senses. If a newborn baby is born as a medium is through the perceptions the mother receives. For this reason, the period is called the mediumship period. That is the mediumic period. The enlightenment channels are open to the entire universe to prepare humanity for the medium of evolvement. Right? However, the new trends have led you to fanaticism and egotism instead of enlightening you, exceptions excluded. That is, our hopes have been in vain. The fanatic bigots who hide themselves under the cover of religion will annihilate themselves. The evolvement codes of our friends who will see the good results are open, and they have received the approval to pass beyond the firmament. And I say this in all humbleness. Every time I'm reading the book and I feel like, oh, I got to post this page, this page is so cool for someone to just read this, I get so happy. I get so happy when I want to share the knowledge. I get so happy, and that is like seeing the good results. I just really want people to feel what I feel, how happy I am having this book. Do not ever forget that unless you attain achievement in your evolvement examination, you can never be accepted to the medium of the firmament. We will convey to you article by article in this book what evolvement is. Evolvement is the only cause that will exalt you. Not your money, not your big house, not your prideful donations, right? However, you should be ready for this medium. Your religious books are your single guide on this path. Those who have been exalted by its genuine light are genuine friends for us. However, our friends who have considered themselves as sages on this path are not considered esteemed. For us, those who enter the court of the genuine human through the same path are the genuine sages. Now let us convey the difference between 2 courts to you. It is evident that each person who is devotedly religious, who has absorbed and digested the religious books, and who recognizes his or her God, is a very good person. However, his or her goodness is doomed to remain between him, her, his, her God. Right? During this period, during this period, a lot of our friends who receive these beautiful cosmic perceptions perform their duties justly, and they shed light on society and thus try to awaken them. That's what we're all supposed to be doing. You all feel it in your hearts. You all feel it in your hearts that you're supposed to be awakening your brothers and sisters. That's why he's saying that somebody that's really religious and did lots of good deeds and is very kind and just love God and worship God, they're really good people. But what else did you do? How much love did you convey to your society by sharing knowledge with them to enlighten them? Right? Okay, so during this period, a lot of our friends who receive these beautiful cosmic perceptions perform their duties justly, and they shed light on society and thus try to awaken them. These people are our most sacred friends. Besides this, we also know those friends who receive these beautiful perceptions and consider themselves as prophets. The choice is theirs only. This mentality of theirs will always repel them from the medium of evolvement. That's the ego, right? There is no more prophets. There is no more prophets. Even as our frequencies are rising, each individual's frequency is rising, it has to kind of come to a halt. There will be an event. They'll throw a problem at you that will kind of like shake you a little bit, that you're going to have to spend time reattaining yourself, solving that situation. Because if you're rising too high, they don't want any prophethood. So if you're rising too high, some kind of event will happen that will kind of humble you so that everybody else's frequency can kind of catch up. Because there is no superiority in this medium that we're in. It's all about collaboration. So you can't just take this book and just eat it up yourself and think, yeah, I'm going to make it to the finish line and nobody else is going to get there. You're not going to get there. You get there by how much people you bring holding their hands. Okay? Personal benefits, self-interest are the greatest of sins. Instead of expecting something from someone, those who give from the essence heart without any personal benefit, without expecting anything in return, are the ones who have taken the first preparatory step towards the evolvement code. It is easy to enter this frequency if you do everything commanded by your books of enlightenment to the letter. You get the permission to enter this code. However, it is not easy at all to pass from this code to the firmament plane. For this reason, most of you are made to wait at the place you call heaven, which is your medium of rest. So heaven is like a better earth, right? Where you don't pay bills, thank God. But it's not crossing over the firmament. You have not yet punched through the firmament. Okay, you're just at the medium before the firmament. You've reached the highest place where you get to rest and get upgraded, but you have not punched through the firmament. You haven't gone through yet. Right? So doing good, being religious and all that stuff only gets you to heaven. I don't want to go to heaven. I want to go past heaven. And I'm working hard towards that, inshallah. The enlightening paths shown to you in heaven are separate from your religious books. Those who attain its genuine meaning must come to the world at least 6 times in order to comprehend what is what. The sourness of a raw apple and the sweetness of a ripe one are differentiated in this manner. The frequencies adjustment of those who will evolve, we mean the evolvement deserving the firmament plane, are made by the codes here. The data they receive is the genuine enlightenment itself, and they are given all the universal powers. They are conscious of what they are and what they are not. That is, they are the triple codes of the medium. They have literally aligned themselves and they have formed their triangle. And these are the codes of the essence, the word, the I, right? The third eye. We will explain them one by one, but in our later messages. For now, with all our love. I was reading a book by Shirley Minyaz, and it was talking about the word like the three pillars of Islam or religion, not Islam, but religion, just is the religion, three pillars of the religion or three foundations of the religion. And it talked about the word. So I think the word was La ilaha illallah, just to accept that there's only one creator. So that's humility, knowing that you came from the one, right? And then I think the second one was to kind of like get lost in that word and be that word. And then to shine from that word, something along that line. But basically just knowing that there is the one, and where the essence is from that one essence, and to get lost in that and become one with that, right? So it says here, and these are the codes of the essence, the word, the I. We will explain them more to you, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Our friends, the whole universe is within a whole. Those who have achieved the power of Allah are the key points of this medium, right? Fractals, everything exists within itself, right? If you were to splice my DNA, like take up a strand of hair or a saliva or even the tiniest molecule that you can possibly find here, and you were to, zoom in, you will find me in there. In myself, in my big self, you will find me in there. I am makeup of microscopic versions of this macro that you're seeing, right? So the whole universe is within a whole. So everything is within itself. Those who have achieved the power of Allah are the key points of this medium. It is always possible to get in contact with the seat of authorities. You are in a medium that prepares the evolvement of the intellect. Think. The thinkers are the ones that did not take certain elements into their body system, right? There were those that were coerced into it, but there were those that genuinely believed because they did not think. You are in a brand new order. You are being adapted to a medium outside your field of influence. This field of influence, this earth medium, this 3D influence. We are being adapted to things outside, other realms, other dimensions. The health of our missionary friends is under control. You are being regenerated in every way. No one possesses the quality of opening his or her own code to the medium he desires. Only the codes of the brains who deserve this medium are opened. So yes, you have to make your mind work for it. You have to enlighten yourself so that your mind can knock on that code that you wanted to knock at. Only then is it open to you. The evolvement of everyone is different. In fact, each one of you is a light of universe. You have the equality of creations in God's consideration. You hear that? The evolvement of everyone is different. In fact, each one of you is a light of universe. You have the equality of creation in God's consideration. Don't doubt yourself. God created the human, and the human created himself or herself. Logic, intellect, think. However, if you keep yourself in the medium as God created you, no one can assist you. If let's just say you're placed in class 1, and you may know that there's a class 2, but you refuse to even have a quest. You refuse to be curious about class 2. Well, have fun in class 1 for eternity, right? Evolvement does not mean to stay in one place. It means to advance step by step. Those who find their own selves and their essence will come to us. Again, the religions and the religious books were stages of evolvement, and a lot of people are stuck in there and refuse to attain any knowledge from anything else that came before or after, because they feel like that's it, and that's the conditioned mind. You have to be open to learning, to gaining knowledge from all around. Then you have to decipher. You have to have discernment. You have to have logic and intellect. Think. Which one aligns with your essence, right? yeah, you really have to, you are in charge of your own ship. You steer it however way you want it to go. If you want to remain where you're at, put less effort. If you want to go upwards, put more effort. Read, right? So that message was sent from the Supreme Assembly. Okay, our friends, brothers and sisters, these messages we give to you from outside the universe are given from the Supreme Plane as a command of the Divine. However, we will present the messages beyond perception to you when the time comes. For now, the priority is given to the unification of your world. For this reason, messages relating to evolvement will be given to you for a while. This book gets deeper. Right now, it's just making us understand what evolvement is. It's just making us understand that we don't have to keep staying in class 1. It's making us understand that our world is not cut off from the multiverses, that we're actually in the universe and the multiverse, and that our bodies itself is a universal ordinance, right? Whereas before we thought we were human beings and we're just waiting for someone to come rescue us if we do good. No, you are gods. You have the essences of gods. You are in the plan of God. Your Father has put you through school to graduate, and He has given you all the things that you need to graduate, and you just have to tap into each one of them and align them to yourself and learn, and push, so that you can become your highest self. Formerly, we had mentioned to you what genuine evolvement was. We call it the code of the essence, the word, the I. Now let us explain them. Essence code. So this is number 1. So we are discussing the code of the essence 1, the word 2, the I 3. Okay. 1, essence code. First, you have to find your essence. You have to be in peace with yourself. This is the externalization of the inner radiance. We wish that everyone can find the divine light in this manner. This is our soul wish. So I'm going to read that again. Essence code. First, you have to find your essence. You have to be in peace with yourself. This is the externalization of the inner radiance, and which that everyone can find the divine light in this manner. Somebody called Hot Chocolate wants to go live. Sorry, I'm loving my 7 people that are truly listening. Oh, sorry, my camera's falling. Okay. So find your essence. Be at peace within yourself. You can't find your essence if you have chaos within your soul, if you have chaos within your heart, if you've not been able to resolve your traumas and your issues, if you're not able to consciously think about events that are happening and choose how you want to feel about them. The events are happening outside of you. How you feel about them is your own choice. You are in control of this. You may not be in control of this whole thing, this big world, but you are in control of what goes on here and how you feel, right? So you have to be at peace within yourself, and then that has to be externalized and be radiated outwards. In that way, you're forming your own bubbled universe where everything that exists in that radiation zone of your essence only fits, like it benefits you, it nurtures you. 2, word code. This is very important. You say that the tongue has no bone. We use it as an example. Every word comes out of there, including the sweet ones, the bitter ones, the loving ones, the evil ones. When you have love in your word, friendliness in your voice, docility in your logic, the gates of freedom are partly open to you, and this brings you to infinite tolerance and happiness. To blame, to reproach are the greatest of sins for this quote. Do not blame, do not reproach, do not criticize. Those are the greatest of sins, right? Word. What did I speak about earlier? Love, learn, light. What is the most loving way that I can address this issue that is happening? The issue may be chaotic, But how do I solve this issue in the most loving way? Where, one, I'm not projecting negativity upon anyone else. So your words have to match that love frequency, and I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's easy, okay? Because we're very, very temperamental beings because of this medium that we're in. But I'm learning this so well that I actually don't harbor certain things. If an event happens, I don't feel that it's my fault, and I don't feel that it's the individual's fault. I just think that it's an event. You know what I mean? So I don't blame that person, even if it's an attack or like something being done towards me. I don't blame that person. I just understand that everybody is like pieces on the checkerboard. Is it called chess or checkers? I don't know which one it is. But and the event is replay the events out. But it's nobody's fault. So I don't get angry at certain things. Like I'm able to I'm still learning, but I'm able to just be like, what is the best way that I can solve this? So first I have to meditate to myself and just be like, I'm in the divine love of the Almighty, the Absolute. The love of the Almighty, the Absolute is within me. I'm sending love frequency, harmony, happiness, ascension, awakening, peace to all my surroundings and to all my terrestrial brothers and sisters. And I just kind of sit there on that word for a bit, and really just try to tell myself that, right? Really try to, hey, my dear friend in the light, hi, how are you? I really try to tell myself that. And somebody wants to go live. I'm sorry, I can't go live right now with you. Okay, so I really tell myself that, and then I really just project love on the individual that is in question. I just really project love, and I just try to think about how we're all divine creations of the Most High, and I just do that kind of meditation within myself before I approach any situation. That's what I do, right? And then, so that was the word quote, right? So this is very important. You say that the tongue has no bone. We use it as an example. Every word comes out of there, including the sweet ones, the bitter ones, the loving ones, and the evil ones. When you have love in your word, friendliness in your voice, docility in your logic, the gate of freedom are partly open to you, and this brings you infinite tolerance and happiness. To blame, to reproach are the greatest of sins for this quote, right? So don't go into any situation with what the heck? This wasn't my fault. You caused this. Yeah. So you have to have that docility in your voice. And it's for your own good. You're not doing it because of the other individual. You're doing it because you don't want to harbor any negative emotion. You don't want to be part of that. You just want to be calm within yourself. You want to be collected for your own self, right? It's not about anybody else. It's about you, right? It's about you. And when you're able to attain that, then you project it on anyone else that's involved in the story. And the third one is I quote. The eye sees and loves. The eye sees and wants. The eye sees and cries. Do you know why it is said that if the essence cries, the eye also cries? This is the first step of the evolvement in this medium. Tears are positive foams cleansing your negative feelings. Your spirits are cleansed and elevated as your heart's foam. And this is not go put onion in your eyes and go cry. This is not that one. But when you're going through that situation, that one that you're like, dear God, I can't. Can somebody please help me? Please, God, help me. And you break out in tears and you cry and you cry, and your cry itself is a prayer. And that because you want something positive to happen. You want either healing, you want some kind of manifestation, you want someone to love you, you want a door to open for you, you want a better life, that positive cry, right? Not the cry for someone else to die, not that one. The positive cry, the one that your spirit is so broken that now God has to put it back together again for you, right? That cry, it cleanses, right? It cleanses. It says your spirits are cleansed and elevated as your heart foams. So that's the 3. Essence quote, right? Find your essence. Be at peace within yourself. Word quote. Be careful how you talk, right? Your actions, your gestures, your words, all has to have love within them. No matter what the situation, you have to meditate on that. 3rd, the I quote, right? He's talking about tears, but it's also just talking about everything on here as well, because it's what you see, you may react. So you have to really just, control your sight, control how you react to what your sight is also perceiving. And then it's talking about the tears, right? Do you know why God always holds the hands of his sad servants? Because when goodness weighs more in your conscious scales than evil, helping hands are extended to you. God does not wish to see any of his servants in hopelessness. This grace extended to you is the residue of your depressions. To see but not to see. To perceive but not to tell. To hear but not to listen is your 2nd evolvement quote that will open the gates beyond the firmament to you. So no gossiping. And the book talks about it's not gossip if you're relaying truth, if you're not adding anything else, but it has to be in application to the individual that you're relaying the information to. You can't just call a random person and talk about somebody else. You know, it has to be in relation, and then you cannot add extra stuff, right? So, like I said, control your eyes. I said that earlier. Control your eyes on what you see, right? Just because you see it doesn't mean that this has to act on it, right? So, to see but not to see, to perceive but not to tell, to hear but not to listen, is your 2nd evolvement code that will open the gates beyond the firmament to you. In fact, evolvement is necessary for every human, and evolvement is interminable. During this sincerity period, your 2nd evolvement quote will be enough for you to let your kite in heaven fly in the heavens of the firmament. Those who partly open the gates after that get permission to convey everything to you. The religious books have been dictated in this manner. The preeminent ones who give you messages from the Enlightenment channel until today have not lost your humility at all. Despite their being in much higher levels now, they have tolerated your disrespectfulness towards them. You are tolerated only if you are seen as deserving of that tolerance. Do not forget this, right? So that's like when I started this book, I had a lot of doubts in my mind. I was like, why would you write this? Why, this doesn't even make sense to me. That kind of thing. But, I have to correct myself as I go along. But it's because I was in quest, the doubt brings forth a question in order for you to receive an answer, right? If your rebellions are the overflowing of your essence heart, this is not a sin. So if you're not able to fit into certain conformity, it's not because you're a bad person. If you're not able to follow certain rules of society because you see them as unjust or harmful, it's not because you're bad. If you're rebelling because you love justice, if you're rebelling because you want to do something right in this way and not that way, if you're rebelling because you see wrong being done and you want to stop that rebellion is not a sin, right? Okay. If they are made on purpose, then they are considered sins. In the latter case, there is no tolerance at all. We have felt compelled to explain all this so that our friends who are in the medium of depression can overcome their sadness. We hope that from now on, you prepare yourself for the medium of evolvement more comfortably. Our gratitude to our friends who perform their missions, conform to their own mediums. If you're doing something that is causing you depression, if you're doing something that does not fit into the medium that you're supposed to be in and is therefore bringing you depression, Because the book says in the earlier chapters that our depressions are because we're not living according to our own standards, our own essences. It's because we're conforming to societal or other person's point of view, and that causes depression, right? So it says, okay, their rebellions are caused by the fact that the world mediums does not conform to their own mediums. We are sure that they will not lose their equanimity in the name of the command coming from the Supreme One's pen of the Golden Age Alpha. So that was chapter 3, fascicule number 3, and we made it through just on time. It was 12 pages. Okay, yeah, chemtrails are trafficking. I share an opinion about, but I should just know God has control. No, you're supposed to stand up for injustice. That's what we just read, right? K? Is it K? Yeah, it's K. Hi, Karina. We're supposed to stand up for injustice. Like I said, if our rebellions are pouring out from our essence, then it's not a sin. Right? And we're supposed to wake up people. So even if we're addressing these reptilian Dracos, these evil versions of the Anunnaki, not all the Anunnaki, but the ones that are, if we're addressing these so-called government elites. I don't know why we use the word elite. I feel like we need to find a better word, because to be elite, to be illuminated, to be enlightened, they're not, they're like low-grade 1D. That's not being elite. Like, all the knowledge is available, but they use it for perversion and evil ways. So how is that being enlightened? I don't know. But if you're raising awareness on issues of society, then that is not wrong, right? Yeah, wannabes. Exactly. But yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed the reading. I hope we picked up any stuff. Like, every time I read this, it just powers me up more, and then I'm able to just really assess myself and see where I'm shortcoming and how I can fix that, So we are in the love, the divine love of the Almighty, the Absolute. And the divine love of the Almighty, the Absolute, exists in every single one of us, right? And we send love frequency, we send healing, we send awakening, we send happiness, we send peace, we send harmony to ourselves, to our homes, to our communities, to our entire terrestrial brothers and sisters. And we send love and appreciation and gratitude to our celestial family for everything that they're doing for us. And we send love within ourselves, because our Creator is within ourselves, and we say we love you to our Creator, the Almighty, the Absolute. And we're in forever appreciation and gratitude and excited to be conscious of the day and time that we're in, and to not be depressed by all the events that are going on, because we know the day and time that we're in, and we know that this is part of the plan. And knowing that just elevates you, so that a lot of things don't shake you, and a lot of things don't make you feel sad. It only makes you feel sad, like with the earthquakes that's been happening. Obviously, it's really sad to see, a whole bunch of people die. And I just really just send love to all of them. And I also understand that they're beamed up, their consciousness is being scaled, and hopefully they make it out, or they read in a certain medium, or they reincarnate back here. But I understand that it's an evolution, and that there's no sadness, really. There's no sadness in death, just that we miss them because of human emotions. But we know that we're immortal beings, and at some point we're all going to be together as brothers and sisters up there. And so then I just send love and healing to the ones that are affected here, that have, maybe they do not understand what we understand. I just send love and healing to them. But yeah, I lost my uncle, I think, ending of January, and he was only 25, and like, he was like my buddy. Like, I don't really par with a lot of family members, but his essence was so close to mine. He's so kind, and they were really after him. But no matter what situation he went through, he was forever smiling, and his aim was just to get lots of money and help a whole bunch of people. No matter what he was going through, that's, yo, I gotta fix myself, so I gotta take care of everybody. That's always what he used to talk about. So his essence was very close to mine. So he's like the person that I was very close with, that I even allow in my home, that even my husband accept in our home, because my husband is even like way more like something than me. And he passed. And the weird thing is, like a couple days before he passed, like I'd call him, and his house was really loud, and I had sent him the 3 fascicules, the introductory fascicules. I'm like, yo, you gotta read this. So I had sent it to him on Instagram, and then I was calling him to find out if he started reading it yet, even though he was in a bit of a health condition, so he was really weak. But I just had so much faith in him. I thought he can conquer everything. So I was like, you gotta read it. But I called him, and his house was so loud. And I was like, why is your house so loud? And he was like, he was listening to teachings of the Quran on YouTube, on links that I had sent him. And he just finished doing Salah. And mind you, in his entire life, this last couple of weeks or last month was the most religious month for him that he's ever like really dived into. And I guess because the essence knew that he was gonna leave, so this was a period where he was being really purified from everything that has happened in his life, and he was just at it over and over, just listening and just attaining all this information. I was like, yeah. But I was just so happy, because I was thinking, yeah, okay, finally he's understanding, whatever. Okay, I'm ready to take you to the next stage. Your knowledge book is here. But it's because the essence was more stronger at that moment than the physical, because he was getting ready to leave, right? But I wasn't aware of that. I was just like, oh, your house is so loud, I'll call you back. And I hung up the phone. Anyway, 3 days later, find out that, he had passed in his home. And I knew, I'm the only one that knew exactly what he was doing in terms of attaining this consciousness. And the day that he passed, I had gotten a call. No, the day that he's passed, I'm writing the knowledge book. So I was on the part that was talking about why young people leave, like younger people leave, like why they die. And I was talking about how sometimes when the medium is not suitable for them, or the body is not like suitable for them, then they can decide to leave, because the medium is not like, if the medium is too negative, and like it was for him, if the medium is too negative and you're too positive, they can decide to leave. If the body is not sustaining, like, because we don't really get to choose our body, like if our mothers and fathers, they're not compatible, then there's kind of like a genetic something, but I mean, it's part of the evolution, right? But anyway, that day I was posting a video to give comfort to parents and family members that had lost a young child. And I was explaining through the book why, kids leave early, and how their frequencies choose the mother and father, and how they end up guiding them alongside the guardian angel of the parents or whatever, the family members that they love. And I posted that. So that was like mid-afternoon, mid-morning, around 12ish. Anyway, 5 o'clock I get a call, and I get that news. I was like, Lord have mercy. I was like, what? And it was just crazy that my higher self guided me to read that particular message, and I thought I was doing it for humanity, but I was gonna need it. Yeah. Anyway, his funeral is in a couple of days. I can't bring myself to go there, because, yeah. But yeah, it's crazy how we're kind of, I mean, if we're more conscious with if we're more aligned and one with our higher self, then like deja vus and certain events wouldn't be so surprising, because then we gain future clairvoyance, like we know what's gonna happen, and we're more aligned. Like that day, things were just clinking and clanking in my house. Things were just dropping in my kitchen. My closets were shaking. My main doors were shaking. Just weird sounds that you don't even know where they're. Things were just clinking, clanking, clinking, clanking. I was like, what in the world? There is no wind coming in. What is going on? Not knowing that his spirit was nearby, his essence, just to guide me to read that passage so that I don't break, because he knows that I love them incredibly much. But this is how beautiful our world is. You know, we're spiritual beings, and if we can indulge in that, a lot of things will just, we can be able to get through a lot of things, right? All the same. All right, so sending peace and love, harmony to everybody that came through, and gratitude, and hopefully I did well for you. Yeah, let's share the message, let's share the knowledge, and let's make it. Let's make it together, right? Excellent. Okay. All right, family, have a great one. Everybody send positive prayers to Robert. Send positive thoughts to Robert. If anybody wants to, I don't know, but send positive thoughts to Robert. Send healing. Send lots of high love frequency, and just be happy in your heart thinking about Robert and all the great work that he does for us. Okay? Yes, we shall. Okay, so love frequency to everybody. We're doing great. All of us, we're doing great. And you feel it in your heart. You feel it in your heart. There's nothing wrong with having a bit of doubt here and there. There's nothing wrong with having a little bit of a wobble. It's okay to have a wobble. It's because you're supposed to learn something from that wobble. Once you attain it, then you move forward to your next step. So don't feel bad if you feel like you fell off a little bit or whatever. It's all part of it. It's all evolution. It's all learning. Everything is beautiful. There is no wrongs, bads, whatever. All of it is part of it. Oh, great. Thank you. Have a great night. Bye.